guitar and walks up to the one guy and says, "Can I borrow your guitar? Can I take the stage?" And nobody does that in Bobby's. No, you have to have a lineup. You have to put your name on the list. And he says, "Yeah, sure, go ahead." He gets on the stage and just takes over, and it just blew the doors off everybody.
Thank you.
So, and you were young. Yeah, I'm sitting here going, wow, this is a young girl doing this. And so I just want people to know, if you really want to have fun when you go to Nashville, this girl's the girl to hang out with. And I'm not talking about going out and drinking and partying fun. I'm talking about fun and learning what success is, songwriting, music, because she's not afraid. She's not afraid to go and knock on that door. And I'm going to have to meet you next time you're in Nashville, because things have changed there. So we'll have to.
We'll have to find some sort of gap. No, but I love, thank you so much for the comment. Every time, thank you so much for saying all those nice things. It really does mean so much. But I mean, my parents instilled in me at a very young age to just push through, don't give up, keep not banging on the door, then bang on the window, take a rock, throw through, but like keep going, and that determination. And I mean, honestly, it's not been easy for anyone. It's all relative. Right. It's not an easy journey in whatever career you choose. The arts, personally speaking, I find is a difficult career because it's about your art and beauty's in the eye of the beholder. But it's literally anybody that's thinking about going into some sort of the music industry in general. It's literally about buckling down and hard work. That's all it is. And writing your 10 million songs to find your one hit, to knock on every single door for a crack in the window. That's just the way. That's just the name of the game.
Yeah, Justin Bieber got lucky. He got his start on YouTube. Yeah.
He didn't overnight success. He's been doing it for 10. He was doing it for like 10 years before that, but overnight
exactly,
success. Yeah.
This is what I tell everybody. You can look at the cover of the book all you want and say overnight success. Every person I've interviewed, there is a journey. There is hours and hours and days and years and years. I mean, one guy, became multi-billionaire. I call him from bagel boy to billionaire. And but it was 20 years of hard labor, sacrifice. All everybody sees is this billionaire, nice, big, happy smile. Yeah. Listen to the story, right? It started out a big struggle, and he got into bagels on the year that diet came out that said don't eat bagels. I mean,
wow.
Yeah. So he's like, how lucky can I get, right? But you can't give up. That's what he did. He never gave up. Same like you, he just knocks on a lot of doors, and then that's how he built his. Now his business isn't bagels; his business is fintech. But again, it was one of those stories I like to reflect on, because everybody just thinks overnight success. And I just want everyone to know, I would love to know that Alexandra was an overnight success. I'm sure she would too, but there's a lot of hard work that goes into everything she does. I'm just telling you right now, you rock, girl. That's right.
Thank you.
I wish I could hug you. The everything that goes into everything she does, it just doesn't happen. It comes from the heart, but it's practice. It's, everything that you hear her share, it's a lot of work. And
thank you.
I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Me too. Girl. And we got,
thank you. Her next time she reads the publication, it's not going to just be writer to watch. It's going to be writer and singer to watch.
Oh, that's very kind. Thank you. That's very kind. Thank you.
She's got probably, like all of the guys and women that we talk to in the music industry, hundreds and hundreds of songs. And, it's interesting to me, sometimes the ones that you love the most don't seem to make it. And the ones that you think, God, there's no way this is going to go anywhere. And it just skyrockets. So
that's something, that was exactly the thing, though. The song that I sent in where I got that remark was literally a song I wrote in half an hour. And I was like, cool song, I'm going to send this in. It was literally it. So it's funny. Now, I just want to, and I just love to, if I could just add in a bit, I love what you say about your bagel man, because it's very true. And nobody believes in you. Nobody believes in you. And there's a handful of people that you can count with, your two thumbs of people that believe in you. And I mean, I started my career when I was 12 years old, but I started sort of singing and honing my art from like 7 and whatever. But I became professional at 12. I earned my first paycheck with my art at 12 years old. And I remember when I got I got the lead role in Beauty and the Beast at a theater here in South Africa, and I was Belle. I was 15 years old, and I was the lead role. It was the first time they'd ever hired a minor as a lead. And they actually hired my sister at 12 to be my understudy. I mean, it was amazing, just incredible. But I remember, and I love the theater. I love my theater days, and I love the people that I work with. I still have a relationship with them. But there are a lot of people who don't like you because you're young in the business and you don't know enough. You haven't paid your dues. The reality is, I've been paying my dues since I was 12 years old, and I'm still paying my dues, you know. But I think age is a big thing in this industry, and so is gender, unfortunately. But I just if people don't believe in you, just remember that you have paid your dues. You're currently paying your dues, and you're going to continue to pay your dues. It's just a constant wheel of learning as you go, and that's just it.
And the thing is that just because you're young doesn't mean you didn't pay your dues. I'm just going to tell you right now. Yeah, we love you, right? We love you. You're not your typical girl. The thing is that you paid your dues from a very young age. I started working and made my first paychecks at 12 and then 14.
Wow.
So
amazing.
I think if there's something to be said about, you know, people, you're never too young to start, I don't think.
No.
I don't think that
and you're never too old.
Children slave. I think that the children should either enjoy it or it's something that they just know that they need to do. Sometimes you have to support your family. And but in your case, it was a good thing because you were building your career.
Yes.
And that's what's important. And I'm glad you're in our life and part of the IBM.TV family, because that's what we're going to be about, is growing together, educating, entertaining, edutaining.
I love that.
The word that I get beaten down over every time I type it. What is that word, Kim? Stop
it exists. It exists.
It does sound, dang it.
How about musication? How about musication?
Musication.
There you go. Music education. Musication.
I like musication.
Musication. Well, I think Nashville definitely brought two people together. So, you know, more than two. I'm excited to see some people from Nashville on there. So we got Lynn, who's our big sponsor here at IBM.TV and Money Masters. We are non-for-profit, and it's wonderful to have a sponsor. Don't forget to do your shopping online for dollar store items. This is what I tell people. This is great. How are things going in the dollar store business world?
Things are great in the dollar store business world. We have a lot of great products. And as I said yesterday, I think you were listening backstage. I'm not sure whether you heard it, but I talked to Rex Maida, who founded the dollar stores, and it looks like we're going to be going to India sometime soon. So with an online store, how about that?
Well, we know who to thank, don't we?
And the condition, of course, is that when we support Money Masters and the mission of Money Masters, which of course is teaching education to young people and helping those who are disadvantaged get out of their situation through financial education, which I think is a fantastic mission. So yeah, we have lots of products. We even ship to Southern California, Dr. Yu, just in case you don't know. Now, actually, I know you know. But anyway, and maybe Alexandra, maybe South Africa.
Pretty please.
So
Pretty please.
So I'll talk to.
The problem is UPS does not ship to South Africa at this time.
Well,
so you got to use non-UPS
It's not
delivery.
UPS. It's not
USPS or UPS. Yeah.
It's the post office that does it, but I'm sure
No,
because
USPS does not either. You got to check.
yeah, well, I understand that, but here's the thing: he ships locally from facilities that he has,
Distribution.
and there are stores in Africa, so he has warehouses in Africa, so
Cool.
that's the next connection, and clearly he has warehouses in India because that's where he started the business in 1996. We have a lot of great products, and I promised to look up that one a makeup product that sells on Amazon for $67 and $4 delivery. And we sell it for $2. So I'll have that for you on Tuesday
Okay.
after we have our meeting. I'll tell you what that one is. But Kimberly, why don't you start with the Minion napkins? Because they're your favorites.
Well, because if people buy them out, then I won't have any.
Oh.
It's kind of like toilet paper. People go do a run on toilet paper, then there's no more toilet paper.
Well,
so, of course, I'm not going to put the Minions. I want them for myself. So, yeah, let's take a look. Let's see, paper products.
yeah.
I went to the grocery store the other day. It was a big trip for me besides the doctor office. But look, people, they have toilet paper. Don't worry yourself over not being able to get toilet paper anymore. It's inexpensive. They don't have any in our stores. They're gone. All the shelves are empty.
Mm-hmm.
Which I thought was interesting. I wasn't there for that. I just went down the aisle just to see out of curiosity. And, I just thought, wow, that's really odd or stupid, that we've done that to ourselves. But paper products are important. There were no paper towels either. There were no tissues. There was no paper products.
I actually saw people putting up tents so that they were going to wait for the next delivery. I'm kidding, of course, but
it's true. They tell us our next delivery comes at 6 a.m. on Saturday morning. I'm like, well, I'm not going to be there because I'm going to be getting ready for this. So, but the girls are really nice to me because I've known them forever, and I'm always nice to them when I go in, and they go, "Oh, we'll set aside whatever you want." And I go, "Yeah, you'll get beaten up over the toilet paper, so I won't go there. I don't need to. I got the dollar store." The dollar store has hair color. They have face masks that moisturize. They got feet moisturizers socks that you put on to moisturize your feet. It's just, there's no reason to go out and shop for any of this stuff. If you need a lunchbox for your kid, I don't know why you do that now, but just even at home, it's kind of fun to pack your lunch and eat during the day just to keep that habit. But look, it's frozen. Now, come on, Ankit, tell me your little one wouldn't like this one, right?
Frozen, sure.
So frozen. Look, there's a whole pack of dollars. I don't know why you want play money today, but there's a whole pack of play money. Parchment paper. I'm going to tell you what, I've learned a huge humble experience in the past 2 or 3 years for whatever reason. I've always, baked a lot of food over the holidays. And for some reason, the past few years, maybe my ovens changed, but things just weren't cooking right. I switched over to using parchment paper. I will never bake on anything else again. I'm just telling you right now. Parchment, and this is inexpensive. Parchment paper is very expensive if you buy it online, especially from our big favorite store, A. But here it's pretty cheap. And it comes already cut in sheets. You don't even have to cut it. So, I just want to say that whatever you need, there's paper plates. There's, Nick was real happy because he was able to buy pens and not go to the store. So there's, school supplies, office supplies, just anything you want. But anyway, I think Alexandra has to go. I don't mind.
Minion napkins.
Beam in and beam out kind of a show, right? If you're scheduled.
Yeah, I feel so bad.
Oh, no. So, hold on just a second. But we want to say goodbye, and we'll see. Not goodbye. We'll see you Sunday.
Yes.
Yep.
Bye, everybody.
Not
See
a
you
typical
Sunday.
girl. Take care. No, we like people beaming in and out. Our family. We're adding new family. We have we have family that is going to be joining us. New shows that are going to be joining us all week with what do you call it? Comedy. So
Oh wow!
yeah, what's this? Yeah, wow.
It's the Kung Fu
It's
Master.
supposed to be with you. You know,
Master, I've learned some Kung Fu.
I studied Taekwondo for several years.
Yeah, the old British dubbing, the Hong Kong Kung Fu Theater. Remember that?
Yeah.
So, Kimberly, I have to jump off because I got off a call to
Okay.
to get on.
So you're
But
beaming
I
out.
just want.
Is there something you want to share before you?
Well, the thing I want to share is that we have over 4,000 products. $25 orders or more, shipping is free. We have a rewards program. So anybody who signs up to become a customer gets an immediate $5 discount. Ankit was looking for his $5 bill, I could tell. So anyway, yes, and every time somebody buys something, additional rewards that they can use for more purchases. So go to the IBM.TV website, click on the green button, become a customer, get your rewards, and then start shopping. We have over 4,000 items, close to 4,500 items.
And you'll be donating to a good cause.
And we're donating to Money Masters. And that's the important
because we
part.
want to teach financial smart.
There it is. His $5 worth of discounts. Ankit took them, but we have more. So there you go.
And don't forget, you can get your CBD there, and it comes in small amounts. But CBD is very expensive. I use it, and it comes in a bottle. It's very, very expensive. But you can try it, see if you like it. You didn't go out a huge amount of money. So hand washing. I just want to share real quick my experience at the doctor's office yesterday, which I missed my treatments, and it's been 2 months, so I was very excited to go, but their whole system changed. But every step I took, we had to do the sanitizing the hands, right? They were real proud of me because I could do it right. They were like, wow, how did you know to do all of this? And I go, oh, our doctors on our show taught us this. But every step I took, right down to when they put the oximeter on my finger and they took it off, they made me do my hands. Everything they did, everything they touched, they were constantly, and maybe it sounds like overkill, but I'm proud of my doctors for one, staying open and making sure that we can get our treatments, and two, for taking those precautions and teaching them. So, but we had to sanitize our hands before we reached in the box to get our mask. Every door we touched, we had to sanitize our hands. So it's a new wave, but I saw that you had hand sanitizer, hand soaps. And
Yep. We have Dove, which is reputed. And I remember Dr. Yu looked it up when we were talking about this last week, and it basically breaks the sheath around the virus, which then allows you to kill the virus. Dove and Dawn dish soap. So they're the two best. But anyway, I do have to run. I do see that Dr. Moskowitz asked me about quercetin. I'll take a look at that, and we'll see what we can do. And in the meantime, God bless, stay safe, and I will
love you.
Yep, there we go.
We love you.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for your support.
Happy to.
It takes a lot to pull together your sponsors and your support. But when they approached us, I was just so shocked. I wasn't expecting someone to be our sponsor so soon. And that said a lot about us, because they could have picked anyone, because there's so many other shows out there that have been around a long time. But they chose us because of our financial literacy programs that we really enforce. But they also liked our message that we were giving people on the TV show. And I hear that a lot. People always say, we really like the message. You're not about the standard news media hype. And we haven't been really. We've been reporting the data, talking to real doctors, and we've kind of shifted not just to COVID, but just general good, healthy practices and building our immunity and health is bringing us, is going to protect us and save us. And one of the conversations yesterday kind of piqued my interest because it's something I said. It's we got to get over thinking about a vaccine, and we have to learn to just live with it. We have to learn how to live with the virus, because there's going to be more. What do you think about that, Dr. Philip? And welcome, Dr. Rockwitz.
My gardener just texted I had a leak in my sprinkler, and I asked him where do I shut it off? He told me where. Go ahead. What did you ask?
I was just wondering, what is your thoughts on the fact that we maybe shouldn't be focusing so much on the vaccine, but just, there was talk this week that on our show that we just should learn to live with it, learn ways to live.
Well, here's the deal. I mean,
I know how you feel.
Yeah, my position on vaccines.
Yeah. I agree with you.
It's incredible how if you ask your pediatrician what is in that vial, they don't know. All right, because the bottom line, they don't get paid until they deliver that vaccine your baby, your child on the schedule, and now they're vaccinating pregnant women. And if you just look at the ingredients, right? Thimerosal, which is formaldehyde, mercury, aluminum, and they put these adjuvants in there as preservatives, and it kind of activates, the vaccines, right? It stimulates the immune system, and then they culture a lot of these vaccines in animal or aborted fetus parts, human aborted fetus parts, to culture it. Ethically, I cannot take that. I cannot put that stuff in my body, my kids. If I had another baby, I would not. I'll leave California before doing that, or put my kids in homeschooling. And B, just the health consequences of putting known neurotoxins into your body. I mean, look at the EPA standards on water, lead and mercury in your water. I mean, it's very strict. Why are they letting concentrated mercury in an injectable form in your system? It's a closed system. If you get toxins of mercury or lead from food or air and water, that can be detoxified out of your system. But when you inject it intramuscularly, it's very hard to get it out. It's going to go to the brain eventually. And look at how many autism. I think it's 1 out of every 34 kids have some form of autism or ADHD, where before in the 80s was 1 out of 10,000 kids. The advent of vaccination is correlated with the increase of autism and, brain degeneration, all these strange, ADHD, ADD. I never heard of these diagnoses when I grew up in the 70s,
No, that was called BAD.
Yeah, and we're on the blue screen too much. You're on your computer, your phone. That blue light is not good for your brain.
No.
It shuts off melatonin. You can't sleep. So there are consequences with our supposed advanced technology and allopathic medicines, and what happens is, and I believe these vaccines cause so much autoimmune disease, the rise of, thyroid, diabetes, digestives, and then you're taking these medications your whole life. So it's like the perfect profit model for these pharmaceutical companies. They got guaranteed patients from when you're born, right? So it's crazy. I think during this COVID time, we should look at, we're gonna rapid approve a vaccine that only takes 45 years to develop into 18 months or shorter, with no safety studies, no double-blind safety studies. It just boggles my. You're gonna put that in your body? This is a modern-day Joseph Mengele experimenting on children, during Nazi Germany. What is the difference?
Well, and I want to bring a point up with that too.
Where's the Geneva Convention? Where's the ethics in this? We have what's called IRBs, where are these intervention review boards getting their ethics from?
Well,
You know,
definitely not
even
from
the Nuremberg trials. Yeah.
One of the things I want to point out is, like, in the situation that we're in right now, and we keep preaching or talking about the fact that testing is very, very important so that we can isolate the situation, maybe prevent flash mass spreading. Because if we do proper testing and proper tracking, like if you properly test and properly track, you should be able to contain. But oddly enough, you know, where it seems like we don't have enough test kits, our own leaders are testing daily in the White House.
Well, it's funny, and then when you see they don't wear masks though.
No, they do not wear masks.
Gosh.
They're not wearing masks. They're not doing what they preach.
Do they know something that we don't?
I don't want to be ridiculous and over test in the United States. I don't want us to look ridiculous. And yet you're testing every day. And testing is a whole lot more safer on the body than the immunizations and all the drugs that they say maybe work. To me,
here's another thing about testing. What testing method are they using? Now, the standard is PCR. It's the nasal swab, right? The nucleic acid test. But that's only accurate if you have a colony of the COVID virus at the nasopharynx junction or the back of your throat. They used to do the back of the throat. What if the colony already passed down your trachea? It's in your lungs. What if you swab the wrong area? You know, it could test a colony. It doesn't test antibodies. We need antibody testing, IgG for a chronic exposure, or IgM with a recent exposure, and then at least you kind of know that you've been exposed, and you know it's shedding. If you're IgM, you should self-quarantine. If IgG, guess what? You've had it for a while. You had the immunity. You're most likely safe to go out and conduct your trade. Now, if you're IgM, you should stay home.
Yeah.
And if you're elderly or you have a comorbidity like pneumonia, so they should let healthy people go out and get the economy going. You know,
I don't want to
hear this business. Oh, you may cause a second infection, or you may be shedding the virus when you don't know that. Guess what? If you have a strong immune system, if your neighbor has a strong immune system, you know, you're going to develop herd immunity, and we'll get through this. But flattening the curve, you're just extending the herd immunity. You're tanking the economy for what, a 0.3% death rate chance, which that's like the influenza virus. It's no more dangerous. Let me come to this. If there's no biased news, and most of this news is liberal,
it's all biased.
There's no COVID-19. I'm serious. It would be business as usual. Okay. Yeah.
The only concern wasn't the fact that of the virus itself. It was the mass spreading and not being able to control it for the people who would become very, very sick in the hospitals. That was the biggest concern. If people were being honest and transparent, it was about the ability.
Well, a lot of people went to the hospitals and overburdened the emergency room and urgent cares because they would freak out the media. Oh, Fauci says 2 million will die in the U.S., 5% be infected. No, it's not. It's 0.3%. You know, so if you get a cold or cough, then you're, I better go to the emergency room, right? And you're overburdening that. Guess what? If I get a cold or cough, I stay home and eat chicken soup and take vitamin C and D, not go in and get an iatrogenic infection from the hospital. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
and then you're exposed to MRSA virus and all that stuff.
Well, most people, they don't know any better. And two, most people go to work sick. All right. Yeah. I just like, you know, when they first started exercising the shutdown in North Carolina, and they were still allowing 500 people to go to work every day at one of the buildings, the government buildings, and somebody walked in with a fever.
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah. So they should, you know, we use our laser non-contact thermometer. That should be done. Yeah. We got a 10-second hold your breath test. And if you're starting to cough, then you have some fibrosis probably. You should go home, emergency room. You know, we have the rapid test kits, and that should be the gold standard right now. But for some reason, they're plugging the PCR nasal swab. Very uncomfortable. It only tests the colonization.
And it takes 10 days.
Exactly. And to get the results 7 to 10 days, or you send it to LabCorp, and
It's all about money.
we could just ship the cassette, the test cassette, to the home. We actually did it, right?
Mhm.
To someone in San Diego.
Yeah, I
I
know
walked
you
them
did
through the test on video. Hey, prick your finger with the lancet, wipe it off with alcohol, put it in the test area, put the reagent, 10 minutes, he was tested negative. Guess what? He has peace of mind. His wife, I told him, get an N95 mask, take vitamin C, vitamin D. You don't hear the word enhance your body's natural immune system from the CDC, FDA, all the regulators. But what you do see, vaccine. We got to get this vaccine rapid approval. Let's skip the animal trials. Let's do it in the humans.
Let's try it out on humans. We saw what a mess that was when they were pushing hydroxychloroquine and Revespra, whatever those
other drugs were.
They kind of worked. They weren't work. Maybe worked. Sometimes worked.
The hydroxychloroquine study was done on people in hospice. Yeah. They're already dying. Of course, it's not going to work.
I mean, a few people were taking it and touted, yeah, it worked. But, I think at some point in time, like you said, any drug would work. Any drug that's used to help with malaria or Ebola, it's probably going to help with this virus, because those drugs are what? They're mostly about anti-inflammatory,
yeah,
and things like that. And this is something that, even Dr. Moskowitz was saying, the asthma medications were working just as good, right? Dr. Moskowitz?
Or quinine, just take quinine. It's natural. Drink tonic water. Yeah, there you go. There's no side effects, So and zinc. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there you go. I'll take
down the RNA polymerase transcription in the throat. Zinc lozenge before it goes down your trachea. I mean, but you say zinc, and then you're one of those you believe in natural stuff. That stuff doesn't work, or you can't say high dose vitamin C boosts your immune system. You can't claim that, So I claim the study. Well, 2-time Nobel Prize winner Linus Pauling, his studies show vitamin C shortens the cold, symptoms, or so you got to be politically correct now.
Yeah. So what's amazing to me? Yeah, politically correct. That's the problem with our country, and why we're not getting better, is that we have to be politically correct. I am thoroughly a little agitated because they are testing at the White House daily. With the rapid test kits. To me, they could have sent out a rapid test kit to everyone before they sent the stimulus check, and that probably would have stimulated us back to work. Because if we were sending out test kits, we could test whether somebody had it, like you said, or what could go to work or couldn't go to work, and kind of control our economy that way, but also control the mass infection rate. And then we would probably be back at work right now. But no, they reserved all the test kits for themselves. They're testing themselves daily. And now they're saying, we're going to look really dumb if we test everybody. No, you're testing yourself every day. The stimulus check should have came after everyone got tested. And the people who needed to stay home received a stimulus check. And
they would have saved so much money sending out a $10 kit instead of $1,200.
Thank you.
Household, the head of household, spouse, $500 each kid, and they say, you have the green light to go back to work.
Yeah, so that to me, that would have been better. A $10 kit to each household, even one for each person, right? They're $10 a kit. So each person, but if the person tested okay to go back to work, then they go back to work. If you didn't, then you stay home and get a stimulus.
The FDA literally changes their guidelines daily. One day it's like, okay, we don't have kits. We're going to rapid permission to import them from China or whatever. Now they're like, it has to go through emergency use authorization, full approval, and you could only do the test at a CLIA lab. And there's not a lot, in each state. It's so regulated. Who's going to go to a CLIA lab to prick your finger? It's like a pregnancy test or cluster. You could do it at home. A monkey could do it, Why do you need a CLIA lab for that?
I think mostly the government wants the results from the test. So they don't want you just to take the test. They want the data from that test.
Or you have every pharmacy do it.
Right.
And there's a registry, and they put in the data. positive. It's not rocket science.
Every grocery store, just give them to the grocery store and put a certified person at the gateway of every grocery store and every pharmacy. And,
Yeah, you get temp and so
because I go up to, my grocery stores right, fortunately we live in the country, but it's not too far. Or like you said, a pharmacy. Pharmacies are a lot farther, but one or the other, but have them at a place where people go to routinely.
Even, yeah, so I saw Tony Robbins was even saying, yeah, the news has to stop scaring people. We have to have the proper tests. And he's even invested in stem cell therapy for COVID. I think he maybe helped fund, well, he's partners with Dr. Hariri, who got rapid approval to do natural killer cell and birth tissue, placenta, umbilical cord for COVID. They got FDA IND approval. So I think the good thing about COVID is making the FDA just pass these stem cell studies through instead of denying them all.
Well, I think that's
a valid way to, immunomodulate the immune system without having to artificially, manipulate it with pharmacology.
Let's also encourage people to invest in that kind of research now, because for many years, medical research was not the big thing unless there was certain patents involved. I think
he even was saying, but Dr. Hariri, we want to find a way to make each dose FDA compliant. The problem with stem cells is the stem cell count is different with each batch because each umbilical cord has a different count of mesenchymal stem cells. You can't say 1 cc has a million stem cells. That's what the FDA wants, to approve it as an IND, like a drug. So I guess they're trying to find a way where they could culture the stem cells. You could predict the exact how many growth factors, how many stem cells. That way you can patent it, and it could be,
you manipulated nature, and that's not what.
That's the problem. We don't want to add. You
don't want to add junk to it. We don't want to add mercury or saline.
It's kind of strange. Why would you classify a biological tissue as a drug?
Right.
So
this is the way I see stem cell. I see it's based on the little bit of research. My mind was piecing together a great way to explain what I see it as is that, when we need a new liver, we transplant a liver. That liver cannot be patented.
Or blood transfusion.
Maybe the process and technical use of can be, but that can't be FDA approved. Did they go FDA approve that person's liver when they put in that other person's body? Was that FDA approved? No, it was a transplant.
Yeah, it was a graft.
It's the same thing to me. You're going to take live, healthy stem cells, and you're going to put them in a person whose stem cells are dying. It's just a transplant. To me, it is not.
FDA even shut down. It's not your own body stem cells from your adipose tissue. You know why? They said that's a drug.
It's not a drug.
Approved. Your own body fat stem cells a drug. Yeah, right.
No, it's not a drug. I see it as just like a new heart or a new liver. We're taking something that was dying in your body and we're replacing it with something that's healthy.
People don't realize there are 2 FDA-approved treatments. One is for leukemia, blood cancer. That's bone marrow aspirated stem cells from your bone marrow blood. All right. And then 2, certain cancers, like Jimmy Carter had multiple myeloma, and he tried this stem cell therapy from the CD19 called CAR T therapy, chimeric antigen therapy. And he was cured of his multiple myeloma, which is one of the worst cancers, spreads everywhere, all over your bones and all that. Cured by CAR T therapy, chimeric antigen T killer cell therapy. It's taken from a stem cell called CD19. And he brought it and got it approved. I think Medicare covers it. But it's like a $400,000 treatment that they bill Medicare for. I don't know why a lot of people don't know about this. Maybe it's hard to get get it approved for billing.
Well,
But
it's
you
just
can
like,
pay out of pocket for CAR T therapy. You could pay like $40,000 to have it done, but I think Medicare does cover it. You just have to bill it the right way. But you would think this would make the news. It doesn't, though. People still want to get their chemotherapy because it's the most profitable pharmaceutical invention there is.
no, I agree, and I think the problem is that we're labeling it something that it's not. Okay,
Exactly,
it's not a medicine.
Yeah.
It's different is nature. Okay, it is nature. It's like going out and getting a vat of honey. It's going to be a little bit different every time you get it. It's like when you transplant a healthy organ in a human body, or if you give them new blood, you're transplanting the cells, and you cannot FDA.
So they should just kind of don't try to force it to be a drug, IND.
Thank you.
New drug 351 study. Leave it as a transplant, a graft.
That's
which
what
we're
I keep
able to
saying.
do.
Because it's a living cell.
Put a tendon here, put a
not,
torn tendon there, torn
Right.
muscle here. You could transfer fat around.
it's living. It's a living cell.
You know, a lot of these tissue, the elders saying, "Oh, that's a drug. We got to regulate it."
No,
because it works so good.
but it's not a drug.
Bankrupt the opioid industry because it's solving chronic pain.
But the thing is I think it was sold as a drug, and it needs
chemotherapy. It'll compete, and they don't want to hurt their pocket.
Chemotherapy has saved a lot of lives, but it kills the body. It's
a last resort.
It kills the body. It kills the cells.
Yeah.
In order for you to kill the bad, right? But somewhere I think stem cell, because it rejuvenates cells in the body, we should be able to find a way to transplant them into humans and not worry about FDA. We are using them to heal the body, like heal the joints, right? You've shared with me how it can heal the joints. But it helps things rejuvenate and grow. I think we need to rewrite the book on how we're selling it if we're going to get it.
Well, the Russians, Swiss, Germans, a lot of European nations have been using stem cell therapy for almost 80 to 100 years. So America is like a century behind. And even traditional Chinese medicine, thousands of years old, stimulates your body's endogenous stem cells to work better. That is a form of regenerative medicine. You don't always have to inject it from a donor if you're young and healthy. But the problem is the older you get, your stem cell count goes down. They're less regenerative, the ones that have left. So those people would benefit from, a donor from the umbilical cord because their days are old, right? And there's no graft versus host disease because the umbilical cord, the tissue is considered, it's an adult mature tissue. It's already matured. If you get it from an embryo, then you get ethical issues, and then those cells are more primitive, then it possibly could form into a tumor or something. But let me play that stem cell, that breakthrough for immunity stem cell video with Tony Robbins, kind of like the host.
Let's do that, and then talk about it a little bit. Let's
share the screen.
Play that, because I was very interested. Actually, I had gone in and was gonna. I thought about cutting some of it out, but I just didn't have time. But it was really, really good. Go ahead and play it.
Let me know if
breakthroughs in.
Can you hear the?
Hold on, I gotta add it to the stream. Hold on.
Let's get into the.
Let me know.
Can you hit play?
Okay.
Panel discussion.
So do me a favor, make it big. Can you make it big?
Wait, hold on. This is a video of a video. Yeah.
There you go. That's what we want.
Can you hear him?
Yeah.
Shout out to all of you that I know are dealing with all kinds of stresses with the whole world being shut down. We have Twitter, a number of people, billion people are shut down in their homes. There's so much fear, there's so much uncertainty. And so the
Right.
purpose of this
Yeah.
particular program is to bring you some of the best experts in the world to help you put this in context. Because a lot of what we've heard and a lot of the decisions we've made are accurate and haven't been accurate, unfortunately. No one's done anything wrong. Everybody's trying to protect our society, protect our world. And in so doing, there may be some overprotection. And so just like if you go hear a medical diagnosis today, most human beings know you should get a second opinion. Today, we're going to have some experts who are super qualified to be able to talk in this area because it's their pure expertise. Try and give you a context of what we've learned and where we really are, maybe dispel some of the fear. But then the majority of the time, we really want to talk to is what are some of the solutions that are coming out that are true breakthroughs that can make a difference.
It's too loud.
We're going to have a couple guests, but this is going to be my partner today, as my partner in real life. Peter Diamandis, who's my dear, dear friend, and we're partners together. He's the head of the X Prize. He created the X Prize. Most of you in my audience know who he is.
The volume's good.
He's founder of Singularity. He's multiple New York Times #1 bestseller with Bold and Abundance and Bold Capital Partners. And there's so many companies I couldn't list them all. But Peter joined us now. We're doing this all by Zoom because we're all trapped in our individual locations. So Peter, hello. Thanks for joining me, brother. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, brother, a pleasure, and yeah, it's a pleasure to welcome everybody as well. And during this time, we're all trying to understand what's going on with this pandemic because it's both a viral pandemic and it's a pandemic of fear. And people are talking about what are the diagnostics available, what are the antivirals available, what are the vaccines available, more importantly, what are the therapeutics available. And we have an incredible guest that Tony will introduce in a second, who's another brother and a partner with us, one of the smartest people that we know. But I want to contextualize what we're going to speak about during the course of this hour plus. The first is, let's talk about what's truly going on around the world in terms of what are the real numbers? How fearful should you be? How hopeful or optimistic should you be that this might be over soon? Or it's not as bad as people think it is. But the meat of this program is going to be a therapeutic treatment for COVID, for viral infections that you might not have heard about. And it's a concept of cellular medicine. So we're going to be talking about how do you augment your immunity with natural killer cells and with stem cells. An extraordinary scientist, physician, and CEO is with us. Tony, you want to go ahead and introduce?
Yes, and I just want to say, in this particular show, we may divide this in two, to be honest, so we'll decide as it's here, but we're also going to bring you some people who are in the most advanced areas of testing. You've all heard about antibody testing. Many people are saying this is the only way we really get back to work. Because the current tests that you're doing swabs on, we'll go to this a little bit later in the show here, they're, first of all, not super accurate, a lot of false positives, but most importantly, it only tells you that you might have the virus now. It doesn't tell you if you develop antibodies. In fact, if your body's now, if your immune system is strong and it'll fight off the virus, you don't have to worry about it. You're free to go back to your normal life. So that's pretty important, as well as similar company that is working on a vaccine that's worked in this industry for more than 30 years, but a vaccine that may be accelerated in its tempo, not 18 months away, simply because the source of the vaccine, as we'll walk through with them, doesn't actually use the virus itself, so it's not so dangerous. But we'll get into that as well. So it's a solution-oriented show. But we want to start by introducing this on our screen before we show his real face. Just his background, Dr. Bob Harley, MD, PhD. Bob is an incredible neurosurgeon. He's a biomedical student. He's a high-performance aviator. He's a serial entrepreneur in two technology sectors of biomedicine and aerospace. He's truly a renaissance man. And he's our dear friend and partner, but I got hold of Bob originally through Peter and I when I tore my rotator cuffs and kind of started on this journey of understanding cellular therapy because they were torn so badly during this snowboarding accident that literally the doctors said, three of the doctors, you have to have surgery. Surgery immediately, the pain was incredible. And then the problem was the rehab, the 3 to 6 months of rehab where I wouldn't be able to clap, move, and do things I do. And Bob was the one who taught me the difference in the different types of stem cells in the world and cellular therapy and got me to the right type of treatment, the impact of which was one session, no exaggeration, and my rotator cuff is absolutely perfect. I could do everything I want to do. I had no downtime. I mean, it was life-changing to me. So that intervened into this whole area of really looking at the change that's happening in medicine today and finding out as much as they could about cellular therapy. Bob is the chairman and founder and chief executive officer of Cellularity. It's one of the world's leading human cellular therapeutic companies. He's a pioneer in stem cells and just a brilliant guy, and he's also a straight shooter. It's really fun to be with Bob. Bob, welcome to the program.
Tony, great to see you. And Peter, thanks for having me on. Beautiful, buddy.
Great to be with you, man. So let's start with context. I mean, you're up there in New York. You see on the news every night there's a red frame or everything. More people dying, more people diagnosed. You and I both know diagnosed doesn't mean a whole lot. It's who gets hospitalized. They put these huge numbers up, and no one's trying to do anything wrong. They're trying to inform people, and unfortunately using fear as the primary motivator. Can you give us a little context about what's really happening in the trenches, where we stand, and what the numbers are originally based on, but all these formulas that made us shut down the world economy are on versus what we're finding now?
Listen, we're living through an unprecedented event in global health. Viruses come and go all the time. Pandemics happen with a great deal of frequency. What's unique about this particular pandemic is the nature of the virus itself is somewhat different than what we are normally used to. And the somewhat nefarious origins of the virus have left people to be both on a hyper-vigilant, hyper-alert state, but also willing to react very aggressively to any negative news they hear. Now, the bottom line is the early evaluation and reports on the number of people who were infected and who had bad results from the infection was very alarming. When we go back 6 to 8 weeks ago, the number of people that were shown to have the virus and were getting really sick was alarming because this was somewhat unusual for conventional flu, at least the way conventional flu is reported. Now, the fact is that we really don't fully understand when this virus first made landfall here in the United States. There are some who speculate that it may have come here as early as last fall. A virus like this has characteristics that dictate its rate of spread. Some of those characteristics are how long can somebody be carrying it and infected with it where they don't have symptoms, yet they can still infect others. If that period is long, then one person can interact with many, many more people and potentially be a source of infection for those people. Flu influenza, the incubation period is relatively short, which means if you got it, within a few days, a day or two, you're starting to have symptoms, you isolate yourself naturally from the crowd. You're not infecting that many people. But if you can carry it for 7 to 10 to 14 days, relatively asymptomatic, you may infect hundreds of people, and therefore the exponent, how many people wind up ultimately getting exposed, is that much higher. It's very suspicious how quickly this particular viral infection affected many, many people. That's number one. Number two is that although the vast majority of people, probably 90% who are exposed and get infected, actually have very mild or no symptoms at all. And these people don't even seek help of the physician or a hospital. But a small percentage that are going to the hospital and are seen to have, in fact, been infected do develop very severe complications. Those complications can include difficulty breathing, in some cases necessitating being on a ventilator. And we're actually learning more and more that the ventilatory problems are not like a conventional pneumonia. They may, in fact, be far more insidious. They may, in fact, involve the way oxygen gets across the lung into the blood, and even how the oxygen is carried in the bloodstream. That being said, for roughly every 100 patients who is so alarmed that they go to the emergency room, 80 of them are sent home because they're not that sick. 20 wind up staying in the hospital, and of that 20, 4 to 6 of those get sick enough they have to be put in the ICU. So the numbers are not that alarming, but remember, when the news first carried the possibilities that this pandemic could affect millions and millions of patients, and when the lethality rate was originally estimated to be as high as 5%, you know everyone panicked. People, if your wife or your child or your brother or your mother started to develop symptoms, you ran to the emergency room. Most people, with the amplitude of symptoms that they had, under normal circumstances, if this wasn't on the front page of every news, would stay home and rough it out. But in contrast, this was such a crisis call people
So this fear produced a mass number of people going to the hospital who wouldn't normally go there, overran the hospitals.
That's right.
Certainly got in the way of certain countries like Italy and so forth, where they're able to operate normally, do what they normally do. But then also, all of that fear was really based on algorithms that came from an initial small group of people from China who were extremely ill, not understanding who might be infected as a whole. So we're used to the flu with 20 and 40 million people being infected in the U.S. alone every year, and us having 35 to 80,000 deaths. Those are seeing normal. This year, the CDC says we have 39 million people infected with the flu. There have been 29,000 deaths here in the United States in this exact time period. And we've got 200,000 hospital visits, but none of that gets reported. Because what's happening is what's new about this, we have 0 cases, and then we found the virus, and now we started testing for it ever. And as you know, Bob, wherever we test, we find more and more of it. But it's changing the morbidity or the death rate. Everything was based on these algorithms. That's what Dr. Fauci and everyone else did with the best intent of protecting us and going 3.5%, 4.5%, 5% death rate versus flu, which might be 0.1, 2, or 3, or 4, less than 0.5%. And they decided to take giant action. You know, Dr. Fauci's a good man. He's worked his tail off. He's been around, you know, he's 70 plus years old. He's been telling people up until now, because it was his best estimate, all these formulas, we all know bad data in, bad data out, right? Algorithms they're only as good as what you put in. These 3.5%, 4.5% morbidity rates they're talking about being far greater than the flu. He's now correcting that a week ago. This is New England Journal of Medicine, as you well know, one of the most respected journals in the United States. Let's read it together. March 26th. If one assumes that the number of asymptomatic, meaning no symptoms, or minimally symptomatic cases is several times as high as the number of reported cases, the case fatality rate may be considerably less than 1%. That suggests that the overall clinical consequences of COVID-19 may also be more akin to those of a severe seasonal influenza, which means flu, versus SARS or MERS, which were at 9, 10, and 30%, 6%. Yet unfortunately, on the news, he committed weeks ago, 200,000 and 2 million people were going to die. And so he said it again, 200,000 probably, and they asked him in the news, reported, you said 2 million. He goes, that's still possible. The numbers don't show that to be true right now. And yet people are scared and we're shutting down our economy on it. So I love your comments on these. These are facts. They're not suggestions of some right-wing conspiracy. This is not saying there's conspiracy. It's just saying people are trying to protect, and maybe they've overreacted to something because it's so new. What are your comments on this?
So, you hit on a lot of important points. Let's go over a couple of them. First of all, what has completely alarmed everyone is that early prediction that the death rate could be as high as 5%. Remember, 5% means 1 in 20 people die. It means that more than that actually get sick, but 1 in 20 actually die. That means lots of people will die, right? 0.1%.
Based on the New York numbers, it should be 148,000 people. I just read the article, based on the original projection, and obviously it's not.
But influenza deaths, 0.1%, that's 1 in 1,000, okay? I bet you that very few of us can remember a friend or loved one who died of influenza. So that 5% lethality rate that was originally quoted was the basis for everyone's reflexive and panic response to this crisis. Now, you mentioned something else that's very important. The data is being derived from numbers based upon certain test results, many of which are not reflective of the biology. And let me explain that. The first test available was a test for the presence of the virus, which is looking for the nucleic acids of the coronavirus itself. They swab the surface of your nasal mucosa. It's not a comfortable thing, but they do it. And then they measure whether or not you have the nucleic acids from this virus. That says you have what's called colonization by the virus. That doesn't equate to infection by the virus, okay? Those are two different things. The only way to determine whether you're really infected is to identify the virus inside you, and you're sick. You're actually developing symptoms. So if all you're going to do is measure only the people who are symptomatic, and if they're symptomatic, detect virus on them, and that is your case number, that becomes the denominator from which you calculate death rate. So you take the number of people who died over the cases that you discovered,
And that's where they were coming up with this 3, 4, 5% death rate. That's not an accurate reflection, and it's not the way we calculate the death rate for flu. Okay, just so you know, the CDC, you can go to the CDC website. The CDC calculates the death rate for flu as the number of people who die divided by the estimated number of cases. These are not documented, demonstrated patients who have influenza. It's what the government estimates it to be. Here's the problem. I just sent you 2 graphs. Okay? If you look at the first graph, okay, it's the death rate. It's the death rate here in the United States, which was starting to drop. And the minute it started to drop, it pumped back up. And the reason it pumped back up is they started to attribute anyone who died in the hospital as COVID. You know, that's what's called statistical reassignment, okay? It's a method that's used by people to get whatever they want. So if you're going to take someone who got to the hospital and died of a heart attack, and then post-mortem swab his nose and find coronavirus and say, hey, he died of COVID, that's not accurate, right? When you see, you know, Mark Twain said there's 3 kinds of lies. Lies, damn lies, and statistics.
Okay, I'm going to jump in 1 second here, guys, just to add some context here as well. The important thing for folks to realize is this, again, a pandemic, a viral pandemic, but this is also a pandemic of fear. And it's created by misinformation and by people trying to actually do good, right? Because we aren't panicking when someone dies from influenza. But let me give some other numbers. But we talk about the death rates going on from COVID-19, and we're seeing numbers like, you know, peak at 600 a day, 800 a day, 1,000 a day. But here's some numbers to contextualize this globally. Tuberculosis kills 3,000 people every day. Hepatitis, 2,400 people. You know, HIV/AIDS, 2,100 people. Malaria, 2,000 people. So we have, you know, every single day around the world.
We're not shutting down everything all over the place, and some of those things are infectious as well.
And as bad as this is, again, for all of us, our hearts go out to people. And I know friends who have passed on this and who have been intubated on this, and it's a terrible challenge. There is one silver lining here that's important to realize. And I'll just say it, I think of this almost as a practice pandemic. In that this is not the first pandemic. There have been massively bad pandemics, and there will be ones in the future, period, as we're encroaching on the environment, as temperatures rise, and all of those elements we talk about that if you want. But ultimately, this pandemic could have had the transmissibility that this particular, you know, SARS-CoV-2 virus has, with the mortality of an Ebola, right? People treat this like it's a death sentence when they oh my God, I have COVID-19. Well, could be a mild flu, it could be a bad flu, but imagine if it had a 50% mortality rate. And what this practice pandemic has done, I'm going to call that not to diminish the massive financial hardship this has had, but it's uncovered all of the break points in our financial system, our governance system, and our healthcare system that hopefully, if nothing else, we learn how to repair those and not have that happen again. One other thing that it's doing, and goes to the extraordinary work of my older brother from another mother here, Bob Hurry, is causing and allowing the FDA to iterate faster. Because we've had a very slow, methodical, you know, it's a bureaucracy. And we are seeing, you know, again, diagnostics and vaccines, we'll talk about that in part 2 of this, but also antivirals and also therapeutics, one of which, very proud, is the brainchild of Bob Hurry.
The piece that we're trying to get across to you is that, yes, this is serious, but so is the flu. And that the people that are most affected by the flu are also the elderly. If you look at Italy and see all these people dying, 79% of them have died are over 90. Right? Literally 99% of the people who have the disease have some pre-existing condition, and more than half have 3: cancer, heart disease, diabetes. Now, maybe you can mention about what's been happening, because what's been a Nobel Prize winner said, Stanford. He was talking about, he's been on the air talking about this. So we're trying to do modeling.
So can we kind of set this up and talk about it just a minute? Because this is a long video.
Yeah.
And it is very, very informative. Everybody loves Tony Robbins, and what they're doing and talking about is, that we let fear kind of drive us rather than looking at the facts, which is something that this show has been based on, totally facts, not fear. Let's look at the data. Let's talk about things. Been very, very careful. We might address some things that we hear in the media, but it's very important to not let the fear drive this situation. We should have been testing since day one, just, getting the test kits out there. I don't know about you, but I'm for test kits right now.
Well, you even heard from Dr. Hurry himself, hey, this nasal swab, that's only if you have a colony of virus in that area of your body.
Right.
Your whole body's immunity, whether you got the antibody. So he's saying, yes, we need mass antibody testing. That's why the rapid tests kits are perfect.
It is, and there's no reason why we shouldn't have one for every person right now, even if it's once a week, right? And definitely before people board a plane. Before you go get on a plane, I think every person needs to be tested right now, because that will prevent the mass flares. It's kind of like when you're dealing with fires, right? You got a fire started somewhere, you put it out. And that's what we need to do, is start containing this. One of the things that's concerning me too is I went to look at World of Meters numbers today, and it seems like people aren't reporting the numbers like they should. We get the not available right now.
Well, you saw that even the doctors were saying, wait, you're reporting every death at the emergency room or ICU as COVID when he died of a heart attack, and they tested him. Oh, he had COVID. Doesn't mean he died from it. He was positive and he was dead already.
Right.
So the numbers are definitely skewed. Yeah.
The numbers are definitely skewed both ways, because a lot of deaths have occurred, and unless they were tested positive, they cannot count it as a COVID death. So from what I was told from some colleagues or people I know in the hospital zone areas, they were not allowed to put it on the death certificate as COVID unless that person was tested positive.
What Tony Robbins' point was, a lot of them tested positive after they passed away from the heart attack or something else. So it is skewed. Yeah.
It is very, very skewed. The numbers are not going to be honest. They're not, because one, we didn't test, we didn't control, we didn't contain. There's going to be a lot of people who died from starvation because they couldn't get to food. There are people who are going to die from the flu, regular flu, because they couldn't get help because they're not leaving their home. And like you and other doctors have said, and I think I heard this on Tony Robinson, we have locked ourselves in, so we're not building our immunity by getting the sunshine we need and all the other elements that we need to build our immunity. And you even talked about this the other day, that that's not helping us.
I'm just so glad they get it, right? There's too much fear. We need to boost our immune systems, and now they have this stem cell study approved going on. It's very exciting what these movers and shakers are doing. They agree about the antibody testing, so we're right on the same page so far. So
we're slowly getting on the same page. The problem is that not all the leaders are willing to work the same way. I still think we should have, because it had become so bad, I thought it would have been better if we waited a little bit longer, unless we're able to do a lot of testing. And that's just, but I thought if we waited until we saw 0 new cases and maybe held on for a week, then started from ground zero. To me, then you kind of start, and then when a flare-up happens, you treat that flare-up. And that's kind of how they do the malaria situation. When they see that there's a flare-up of malaria in Africa, they kind of go and they centralize it real quick, take care of it. That is just some things that they focus on. But I agree. We need to back off the fear. This is something we've been talking about on this show for a long time. We need the real data. We need transparency.
Yeah. Anyways, ironically, I got to go. I have another one of the groups I'm involved to get the message to the president about using the UV light and, you know, the zinc, all the natural supplements to enhance the immune system. I have a meeting with him. So yeah, it's my Super Stem Cell Saturday continues. So yeah.
Yeah, Super Stem Cell Saturday, guys. We're going to be doing a TV show once a week with Dr. Yu.
Next week, I want to present. So John Scully, he was the CEO of Pepsi and Apple, right?
You want me to get him on the show?
No, so he's now like the CEO of a stem cell company, I guess. So, so I'm gonna present him as a in our speaker like today, like Tony Robbins next week. So,
well, do you want me to see if he'll come and be on the show?
Yeah, tell him. Oh, we know that. We see that
what we do.
Yeah, you're CEO of Stem Cells now, regenerative.
He's been on
RX Advanced. It's funny because when Steve Jobs lured him away from Pepsi, he didn't want to leave Pepsi. He said, "Do you want to just sell sugar water the rest of your life, or do you want to change the world?" And he challenged him to come to Apple, and then he made the iPhone and changed the world. So it's funny. I'd like to tell John Scully, someone already beat him to it to get him into promoting stem cells. Is, do you want doctors to inject sugar water in your muscles and joints to control pain, or do you want to change the world and inject stem cells in your joints or muscles? Because sugar water is prolotherapy, right? Or do you want to inject cortisone? So I challenge doctors who are in the allopathic model. Hey, do you want to just inject sugar water and cortisone for the rest of your life, or do you want to change the world and do regenerative medicine? So yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So let me show you something. Him and his wife have been on our show before.
Get out of here! Wow.
Now let me show you. Hold on.
Let's get him on for next Saturday.
I'll see if that's what I mean.
Or if his schedule, we could do a special. Yeah, we could do a special Monday, session or something.
They invited us up into their suite, and we just had this audacious talk with him. He shared with us his book.
How did you get connected with him?
It's just I do.
Where does he live?
They have two homes. So, but yeah.
When was this?
A year and a half ago.
Wow. Yeah, let's get him on and talk about it.
He was running a different company at the time because he'll get involved if he really likes a company. Him and Diane, they work to she's his right arm, and they do things together. But it was our first couple interview, and that was really cool. And the guy sitting between Diane and I, he was running a company that John wanted to get promoted, so called Lantern. But yeah, now we could talk because he's a very good promoter about things like that. So I'll see if he will. What have you got there? But you can see this on IBM TV. You could go watch our interview. It's only 30 minutes. So
let's get him on again to talk about his, he's the chairman of RX Advanced.
No doubt.
I believe RX Advanced is a regenerative medicine company.
I mean, he is always, every company that he seems to take under his wing, he always seems to do really well. So, but if you want to do that.
Oh, you know what it is? It looks like it's a new type of insurance company, healthcare, but maybe they're trying to get regenerative medicine covered.